uyonjonga ngayo yandibuka mna baby Cupid is your name, yeah. And I don't care what they say. I'm down every day, every day. Yakona kaundi jonga mna every day. Ooh, every day, every day.
Good evening, the most popular regional head, Mr. Luvengo, how are you? Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, distinguished guests. We just want to take the opportunity to say we'll be starting in 5 minutes. If everybody could be finding a space to be comfortable, in 5 minutes we should be starting. MEC is just on her way to come through, and we will alert you accordingly as soon as she walks through. Thank you so much. of the MEC, good evening MEC, good evening of the MEC, good evening MEC, good evening honorable MMCs. I know that we've been waiting for the MEC. The MEC is here. We are ready to proceed. Good evening, HOD, colleagues, our valuable partners, developers in the session today, our very valuable component, the Fourth Estate Media, it's here today, and we're gonna be proceeding with the program in earnest and allowing the HOD to set the scene in terms of the process that we are going to be following today as we allow more guests to be joining the table before we proceed. Colleagues, we have the newly appointed, new from the box HOD who's going to be taking us through our paces. This is the night HOD that we look beyond the budget. Beyond this budget lies aspirations of millions of the people that are looking up to you. And not only to provide decent housing to them, but to transform the spatial patterns that we inherited. I know that we, particularly MMC Mabazo and MMC Maluleke, are at the cold face of delivering and changing that pattern. MMC Omadira, and some of the issues that we deal with on a daily basis is to make sure that this disposable income at the hands of the poor people does not get eroded by distance and space in between places of residence and work. And I know that you are working very hard as MMCs, also in partnership with the MEC, to change that spatial pattern. It is not going to be an easy road, but as we know, beyond this budget lies those aspirations that we should be able to change that pattern. And it is in this space and honor that we want to invite the HOD to the podium, just to set the scene for us so that we can be able to know what are these expectations moving into the future. The future that we think of from the electorate should be so the future so bright. HOD?
New from the box. Molwen, good evening. Dumelang. Goeie nand. Shangan Abushen, or this morning. I don't know what is good evening in Shangan. Invenda Dimadegwan. Dimadegwana, new from the box. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable MEC, MMCs, esteemed stakeholders, members of the media, and colleagues. It is both an honor and a responsibility to stand before you tonight as the newly appointed head of Department of Human Settlements in Gauteng, new from the box. I wish to thank the MEC for her trust and leadership, and to acknowledge the commitment of every official who has helped bring the department to where it is today. The budget vote delivered today is more than a set of figures. It is a bold statement of intent. It challenges us to move faster, act smarter, and serve better. And as an administrative engine of this department, I'm fully committed to ensuring that the promises made today become tangible realities for the people of Gauteng. From unlocking the land and title deeds, to accelerating information payments upgrades, and delivering dignified housing, our work must be driven by agency, efficiency, and accountability. We will deepen partnerships, embrace innovation, and rebuild trust where it has been lost. Most importantly, we will lead with empathy, remembering that every number in the budget represents a person, a household, and a future. To our stakeholders and media partners here tonight. Thank you for walking this path with us. We are building more than settlements. We are restoring dignity. One brick, one title, one life at a time. Let us get to work. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, HOD. It's one brick at a time, and special justice is one of the pillar of the things that we achieved in the immediate, and I know that you are confirming here and now that this team that is an instrument in your hands will be propelled into achieving that special justice that people need. Honorable MEC, we're going to be taking your guest through the highlights of the budget, just to make sure that we can be able to determine what are these issues that in the immediate, in the medium term, and the outer years you are committing under your guidance and leadership to be doing, but also making sure that the partnership that you are having, partnership and cooperations are quite important because we are in an era where we need to do more with less, and it is through partnerships that we can hold each other's hand and begin to traverse this future together. Can we take the highlights as the MEC will be preparing to take us through the top of the budget speech today?
With a year of MEC for Human Settlements in Gauteng, Tasneem Motara has crisscrossed the province to ensure speedy delivery of quality houses to qualifying beneficiaries. Motara insists that the work of the department goes beyond beneficiaries' housing, but creating an impact on people's lives, ensuring that they are of decent community. The MEC used the Intergovernmental Relations Forum to meet with members of mayoral committees responsible for human settlements in different municipalities in the province as part of finding ways to improve the delivery of houses. The department worked tirelessly to ensure work resumes in previously blocked projects around the province to ensure that those who were meant to benefit from them finally receive the houses. MEC Motara met with community leaders of hostels that are owned by the department in the Johannesburg CBD and built relations that enabled work meant to improve the living conditions of hostel residents to commence.
Undabulela ndihluphekile hey ndixoxoyeze yo hayi
So for those of you who are wondering, I can confirm now, MEC is multilingual. So she can relate to the stories of beneficiaries of the good work of the department. Um, this is elderlies that were bearing testimony to the good work the department and the guidance and leadership of the MEC and the HOD were doing. We were celebrating 100 years, 1 year in office, and that was done in a spirit of ensuring that we're not only in the business of distributing decent houses, we also go back and check whether the dignity has been restored into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, Chair, and welcome. We want to welcome you tonight. We want to rise and welcome the Honorable MEC to the stage to give us the
Thank you, Chief Director. He knows that I don't like people getting up when protocol, I don't know if it's protocol, but it just makes me feel uncomfortable. Almost as uncomfortable as when they read your profile. It's like you're listening to your obituary while you are alive. So those are two things that I hate, and the department knows. So thank you very much. Once again, congratulations, HOD, on your appointment. I look forward to working with you. And I'm sure that the colleagues that you've worked with are looking forward to you steering Human Settlements Department, GPF as our entity. A special word of welcome to the chairperson of GPF, yourself and board members, as well as the management of GPF. And I think at the right time we must have a conversation about what must we do with GPF. What should GPF be as opposed to what it is now, and how do we position GPF to play in the space of housing, property, and other types of accommodation for other types of categories that require it, as opposed to just being the implementing agent for the department. But thank you so much, team, Chair and CEO. I want to thank, specifically want to thank the executive management team of the department for really being patient with me and being extremely supportive. It's been a very interesting year of our first year. We came in at the end of the 6th administration. We've been able to table our first budget, which is essentially the first budget of the new administration. But it's also at the tail end of the end of term for local municipalities. So the support that we have to provide to municipalities is so much more demanding because they are reaching the end of their term, of course. So we have to find a balance of how do we set the tone for what we want to do for the next 5 years. How do we support the municipalities so that they demonstrate this is what we've been able to achieve in the past 5 years, and also position municipalities to go beyond their term of office. So we come at a very interesting point. I know the budget now, but last day, I've been repeating it the whole day. So I can, as highlights, what we did was, yes, we tabled a budget. It's 6 billion and 60 million. It's essentially made up of two funding sources. One is equitable share, which we get from Provincial Treasury, and thank you to my colleague in Provincial Treasury. The second is the bulk of our funding, which comes from National Human Settlements in the form of conditional grants. And almost all of you here, without exception, are familiar with the two grants because we either pay you from ISUPG or we pay you from HSDG, Human Settlement Development Grant, or ISUPG, Informal Settlement Upgrade Grant. 1.235 billion from equitable share. That's really going to deal with the administration of the department. 100 million of it is going to historical debt. 232 million is going to interim sanitation, or what we all know to be chemical toilets in informal settlements. So not to the metros, because the metros get their own grant for informal settlements, but MMC, we're not there yet, but we're getting there with making sure that the interim sanitation program continues. We'll start our fight early with Provincial Treasury so that they can confirm this year for the new financial year. So that the the year that you end your term in local government. We don't put you under unnecessary pressure in the year that ends your term, where we have a gap in the delivery of the service, which is interim sanitation. Of course, if I had it my way, I would just spend money on building houses and not on informal settlements, because on informal settlements, we really spending money on nothing that is tangible, but we are assisting communities and residents in informal settlements to just have some level of dignity. Yes, it is taking away money from our core function, which is actually to build and deliver houses, issue title deeds. And so I hear many people say, oh, we must strike a balance. There can't be a balance between housing and informal settlements. Ours must be towards housing, because with the housing we are able to implement the rollout of interim or permanent sanitation, bulk water, bulk electricity, roads, infrastructure. So it's not just the house that you're seeing, but it's all the other related services and infrastructure that goes with the house. Constitutional mandate, we also have a constitutional responsibility, and I think just a human responsibility to provide some services to those informal settlements. The big chunk, and yes, all developers, everybody has got multi-year contracts. So who is in the room? It's our executive managers, senior managers of the department. We've invited colleagues from national entities, that's NHBRC, HDA, etc. We've also invited everybody who has got current valid contracts with the department. So I didn't want to speak about a budget that is going to make others salivate and be like, oh yes, let's speak to the MEC now. How do we access 6.60 billion? No, it's about those of you who have got active contracts with the department, and you, for those of you who are in our mega projects and responsible for the rollout of mega projects, you know what we expect of you this year from the budget that has been allocated. Notwithstanding the conversations that we've had about to what extent can you expose yourself as a business financially, how much of risk can you carry, given that you have got a development agreement with the department which you must deliver on, and how much can you expose yourself to be able to do that, and so that we can have delivery upfront ahead of what we have budgeted for, so that we can go to national human settlements and even provincial treasury to get additional funding, because the 6 billion in real terms is only going to give us a very small fraction of what we actually require for human settlements. So 4.8 billion to be exact, 4.826 million rand has been allocated from national human settlements in the conditional grants, and that is going to see us deliver human settlements. Yes, majority of our money is locked in mega projects, whether it be for bulk infrastructure, whether it be for top structures. It is majority of our funding is locked in mega projects. And I want to thank the developers who are working on all our mega projects without exception. So we've had the portfolio committee who visited our mega projects. They do it without me, but they do it with the team. And today when we debated the budget, probably for the first time in a long time, of course the budget is and the legislature is a politicized environment, so we just rubbish each other, we speak a lot of, we insult each other, we also thank ourselves, and we tell opposition parties, etc., etc. But the honest, the truth of today's budget debate, or the debate when I tabled the budget, was that opposition parties couldn't point to any mega project that has got major problems that we aren't addressing. In fact, one of the members said one of our mega projects is a ray of light. Well, of course, he used ray of light because he couldn't say you guys are doing exceptionally well. Maybe he might be fired by his party, I don't know. But the fact is that that kind of feedback from oversight bodies like the portfolio committee, we can only get that feedback from the commitment that you put on the ground, the work that you're actually putting on the ground, the work that you are doing with all our fights, with all our lots of negotiations with all our community expectations, with all the expectations from the municipalities. That kind of feedback, we can only get it from the work that you actually do on the ground. So big ups to all of you without exception. I don't want to mention any mega project by name because we've done allocations. I'll be accused of favoritism and. But safe to say that we've got very good performing private sector partners, and we acknowledge each and every one of you, and thank you very much for that. So combined with the 4 billion and what we're getting from what we will get from equitable share, in numbers terms, we will be able to deliver 7,503 housing units. That's both combination of standalones, walk-ups. So that's what it's going to give us, 7,503, 31 service stands, and those that have been allocated to do service stands this year know where they are. It will also include 4,982 engineering services. Engineering services, we know it's the bulk work that we're putting in at majority our mega projects. We are not doing bulk infrastructure in metro municipalities. Again, because metro municipalities get grants directly from National Human Settlements through the USDG. But we are in conversation with the National Human Settlements, the Minister of National Human Settlements, to put more stringent conditions on the USDG. That USDG must really go to human settlements projects, directly, not indirectly. So we don't want a situation where metro municipalities are getting R1 billion plus USDG, but we are unable to see the direct link between what you are spending on USDGs and housing, actual housing units. It can't be indirect. It's got to be direct. So I'm sure that once the National Assembly and National Council of Provinces passes the budget, the National Minister will be looking at those very, very closely to put more stringent conditions on metro municipalities. Because our ability as provincial government, as a provincial department, to support metro municipalities is hampered by the pace at which you can deliver on bulk infrastructure. So I'm sure sooner rather than later, MMCs, and I know MMC Mabaso is very excited about just making sure USDG goes to human settlements and nothing else. We then will see a bigger uptake in metro municipalities on what we can build as top structures. We're going to be acquiring 200 hectares of land. Part of it is pronouncements that the Premier made on particularly Makausi, Uruleni, and I guess I can speak about Makausi now because the process is complete. Etodi? Yes, it's complete. So I can speak about, or it's in the process of being completed. So in government, everything is in process. It's in the process. In government, everything is in process. But the Premier would have made a pronouncement on an informal settlement that he would have visited at a particular point. In fact, that informal settlement, it's in Ekurhuleni, it's a Makausi informal settlement. It's actually located on land that is not suitable for human habitation. It's in an industrial area, so it actually can't be formalized. The metro municipalities, with the difficulties that municipalities are facing, they've put restrictions on themselves not to be able to buy land, and so the province is stepping in to support the Ekurhuleni municipality. So our plan is to purchase 200 hectares of land across, but part of it is responding to what the Premier would have pronounced in the state of the province address earlier this year, but also just when we came into office at the end of elections last year. It will include hostel upgrades, one per region. Again, what the Premier spoke about in the State of the Province address was that we will support metro municipalities. Support. We're not taking over the function, it's to support the metro municipalities. I think we have already put out to the market 3 of those, one of them being Ratanda, the other Mamelodi and Setuha Hostel. We should be able to go to the market with So Hostel, later on with Jabulan, if that will see the 5-year plan for the 5 years, and we are starting with those. But when the HOD speaks about the fact that this budget, it's about a granny who never thought she would own a house or a property. It's about a woman who has been a victim of abuse, lives in a shelter, and needs adequate shelter for herself and her children. It's about somebody living with disability who is economically excluded but has got a caregiver, probably in the form of a sibling or an older parent, who doesn't have any other avenue to own a property except through government subsidized housing. This is what the 6 billion and 60 million actually means. So while it might mean money in your pockets and in the bank, that's what it actually means in terms of real impact, in terms of real change in communities. It's about dignity, and that was one of the politicized debates we had in the legislature today, was what is the definition of dignity? And dignity to somebody who has always been exposed to dignity will not understand what a subsidized house means when, for probably the majority of their lives, they've only been in very undignified living conditions. And so for us, yes, the debate rages on about whether human settlements is a sustainable program or not, but in the face of in the face of injustice, in the face of communities that are still faced with a lot of indignity, in the face of individuals who have no hope to provide security of tenure for themselves and can only do it through a government subsidy, the human settlements program has to and will continue. It's going to include 8,623 title deeds, and that again is about 8,623 South African individuals who live in a house, who are afraid and anxious that, yes, I have got a house, I live in my house, but there's nothing that proves that this property is mine. So 8,623 of them, we're going to issue title deeds this year. We want to, and I'm glad at least that we have the metros, we've written to the metro municipalities to ask them to look at relaxing regulations in areas that we can issue title deeds in no time. In Joburg, it's Bram Fisher, you know the history behind Bram Fisher, established years ago different ordinances and regulations. Those ordinances, those regulations no longer exist, or they are obsolete, or they've been refined. And we are saying to municipalities, essentially, relax yourself, because these are your regulations. If you can relax regulations for multi-million rand investors, why shouldn't you be able to relax regulations for somebody who's going to get a title deed? Anyway, you are providing the services to those people. Anyway, they are getting access to water and electricity, etc. It can't be that roads and stormwater, as an example, stops us from issuing a title deed. Fortunately, in the city of Tshwane, we have resolved our cross-border issues with Northwest. They finally now signed and approved that transfer. It's going to allow us to finalize the formalization of those areas that we had cross borders between ourselves and Northwest, most in the northern parts of the city of Tshwane. And again, those are people who have been living in those houses for years, 20, 25 years, but just because of administrative and other decisions that have been in process for all these years and finally now have been finalized, we can now formalize the township, issue the title deeds. So the budget will cater for 8,623, but we will definitely be in a position to issue many more, simply because of those things that have now been catered for, and if the municipalities, the metro municipalities come on board with relaxing regulations, we can issue those title deeds. So the work that we do is going to continue. Yes, of course, again, another debate is about whether mega projects or mega human settlements work or not. What is the best model? I think they help us build at scale. They definitely help us plan for more years than we ordinarily do as government. But one of the biggest gaps is the sister departments that are supposed to come on board. Schools, clinics, everything else, police stations, because at the end of it, we want new communities. We want, and a community isn't a community without recreational facilities, without schools in their vicinities, without access to healthcare, without job opportunities and economic opportunities as well. So this year we'll also focus on having those dedicated discussions and commitments from sister departments, education, Department of Health, even national departments that can come on board to be able to plan according to where we are putting people, because it doesn't help to plan where there's no people, but also where we put people has got to make economic and other sense as well. I do want to say, especially to the City of Joburg MMC, we are proceeding with the devolution of our properties. Yes, it's been a sticky issue. You don't want it, communities want it, don't want it, but I think ultimately what we want is, no matter who owns the property, whether it's ourselves, whether it's provincial government, whether it's municipalities, the citizens must be homeowners at the end of everything that we do. So even as we devolve these properties to yourselves in the municipalities, let's not leave it there, and let's finalize it to the end. So even residents in hostels must have security of tenure, because there is a very painful history to why we have hostels. It has not contributed positively to economic situations in communities. They are very dynamic communities themselves, but we want to have communities that live with families, children, breadwinners living side by side with those that they provide for. And ultimately, at the end, even those living in hostels must get security of tenure. They must be homeowners. Thank you so much to even the other. So I've spoken more about mega projects because, yes, they are our flagship program. They help us demonstrate what we can do at scale. But I must say that we've also made great strides in projects that we are completing that have been left incomplete for a number of years, for whatever reason. I think, yes, it's important to know those reasons so that you don't repeat them. But what is more important is to make sure that we've said we're going to go back and complete those houses, and we are completing them. So we've completed and handed over so many in Sochangwe. We are now in West Rand, Orange Farm. I think we are still going to as well. Out in Hammanskraal, yes, okay, Hammanskraal. If I don't mention Hammanskraal, I will have a problem. But Itwatwa in Ekurhuleni, I'm from Ekurhuleni. All those councillors of Ekurhuleni, they know where I live, they know my parents' numbers, and it's helping us address long-standing issues that have been in those communities. So while it may not be as attractive as building 3,000 houses a year in terms of rands and cents, but you assisting us to complete those houses goes a long way again in restoring dignity. And we have committed that definitely by the end of 5 years, projects that are incomplete, including Jabulani, MMC, we must go back and complete them. So to those, our private sector partners who are not on mega projects but are on those smaller projects, you are doing great, fantastic work. I really commend you, and you are helping me look good in that video. Thank you very much once again. I look forward to continuous interaction with yourselves. I look forward to robust and very dynamic engagements. I come to sites, as all of you know. We engage even in boardrooms. I like to believe that I'm very accessible, but don't phone me after 7. Thank you very much.
Thank you, MEC. The other day I was at Restafal MEC, and as you say, everything in government is always in the pipeline. And yeah, there's a young fellow stood up and say, "Who lang is the babe?" I've not answered that question. I said, no, it's above my pay grade. It must go to HOD. Thank you so much for being the great audience tonight. We've come to almost the end of it. I know that the Fourth Estate, a very valuable contributor to the discourse. Those that are doing the checks and balances. In a space of participatory democracy, it's always important to have very active media space for them to also keep us in check, but also make sure that when we do good, they report accordingly. From our side, we are going to be allowing the Fourth Estate an opportunity to have the space with the MEC, HOD, and MMCs, and to all the colleagues. Thank you so much tonight, partners. I'm sure there's also going to be an opportunity for media to have an audience with you, just so that they can have a sense if there are better cooperation models that we can pursue, just to strengthen that space of cooperation. In the space that we are at today, corporations are very important, and if we don't cooperate accordingly, we are leading to a very disastrous situation. From my side, and the colleagues, I am sure I can speak on behalf of them. Thank you so much for being a joyous audience tonight. There's no budget. So the budget owner has given a word. We are going to be requesting people like us who are not needed by media sit to what's dinner. Dinner will be served. But I know that media will be having a session with our distinguished guests. From our side, thank you, MEC, thank you, colleagues, thank you. Yes, everybody who wants to network, everybody who still wants to network can still stay.